Alright guys, so today I'm going to be attempting to go through a personal review of the chapter 92 of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Now, unfortunately, because Tohei wants to be a pain in my rear end, I have to not show you as many manga chapters as entirely possible because, you know, while Geekdom and several other more prominent YouTubers can get away with just popping that stuff up, I can only pop up what's basically what they've thrown up for free, what they show to the public without actually reading the manga. So I'll just go over it, kind of little tidbits, but by all means, go into the description below and go ahead and hit the chapter link for their official website on the Viz Media website. You'll be able to go through the manga as well. So at the beginning of the chapter, we basically start off like we did in the Dragon Ball Super Hero movie, where Gamma finds Piccolo. And Piccolo quickly deduces that he is an android and he's from the Red Ribbon Army. The interesting thing is that he does say, "I remember that symbol from back when I was a god." Now, I don't understand the reasoning for saying it like that. I really don't. It's a little weird. I mean, Kami never really... I mean, he's seen the Red Ribbon symbol before. I'm assuming Piccolo noticed the Red Ribbon symbol on both 17 and 18 when he was fused with Kami, so... very weird to just kind of point it out like that, personally speaking. But Gamma 2 is confused, just like in the movie. He admits the jig is up, and he said he's done his homework, and Piccolo tells him, "So you're probably a robot or an android, and who created you?" But he said that's classified. And after which they decide to go ahead and initiate the fight. Now this goes pretty much all the same as you've seen in the movie. Gamma goes straight for him, he ducks, he gets a punch in, gets a couple attacks in. It's all the same. He does the crazy, you know, kaboom and bam, and then he does the flip kick right down on Piccolo's head. All of this is normal up until about the point where Piccolo takes off his weighted clothing and goes shooting after Gamma 2. Gamma 2 actually blows off his arm. It was a little very extra. Like, I'm not really sure why they decided to emphasize shooting his arm off, regrowing it, and then having Gamma 2 saying, "Lesson learned, you can grow back your arm. Neato." After which Gamma 2 amps up his battle power and pushes him back pretty easily, and, well, shoots one last Gamma 2 blast, and then Piccolo disappears into the smoke, and Gamma 2 assumes that he's dead. After which we have Piccolo running back to the Red Ribbon Army base. All of this is pretty much normal. There's not really anything you're missing outside of if you've seen the movie. He sneaks his way in. Let's see here. Yeah, just all random little banter between the guards. Couple little funny things, couple funny faces, couple funny comments. It's all really nice to go through and see. He gets into the room, and once again, it's all pretty much the exact same aside from a couple things. Although, I don't think I remember Gamma 2 actually snapping at Gamma 1 at all, but Gamma 1 mentions he went overboard for a mere trial, number 2, and he says, "Bite me, number 1. In the movie, Gamma 2 is pretty much completely a jokester. He doesn't even say a negative comment whatsoever to Gamma 1. That is negative in my view. Very weird to just kind of throw that in there. But we just get the normal talking with Dr. Hedo and the General wanting to decimate them as soon as possible. Then we have them going through all of the portraits of all the quote-unquote enemies, which would be Goku, saying he's a mid-tier lieutenant with a funky hairdo. They go through Vegeta and Majin Buu and Hercule, whose true strength eludes them, apparently. But all of this all seems pretty much par for the course of, well, the movie. Like, I don't really see anything different. They even have the excessively exaggerated moment where the general just shouts up into the air and raises his arms and says, "Release Cell Max," and Dr. Hedo is telling him no because you can't control it and he's going to destroy the world. But there's pretty much no differences here. After the whole scene inside of the Red Ribbon base, Piccolo is trying to get a hold of Bulma, and that's when we get to a point where he decides to go to the lookout. And then, of course, we go to the nerfed moment with Bulma, and I'm not going to say why she's nerfed. But keep in mind, we haven't seen the dragon get summoned yet. But he gets to Kami's lookout, he talks to Corrin, he gets the sensu beans. And this is when he starts talking about their strength power levels. So based on my own battle, I'd say those Gammas are about on par with Goku and Vegeta themselves. Now you have to remember, at this point in the manga, Piccolo has only seen Goku and Vegeta versus Moro, the GOAT. Now don't get me wrong, Goku really pushed his limits and he probably hit a strength that he didn't even know he had at the time, but I'm curious on the wording. Is he really caring about the wording? Is he just kind of putting it exactly as it was said inside of the movie? Or is he trying to imply that Goku and Vegeta are, at the Moro arc point, Gamma 1 and 2 are as strong as they are? Or is this actually pushing after the Granola arc? We have to assume Piccolo knows that Goku and Vegeta are stronger after all of the Granola madness with Ego and UI. And at that point, that means that Gamma 1 and 2 are ridiculously strong. But if this is going only back to the Moro arc, that means, I mean, they're strong, but they're not stronger than, say, I would say they're not stronger than maybe just, I don't know, Blue Vegeta maybe? Blue Vegeta and Goku, I would say, is what their point of power would be. I don't think Piccolo can give an accurate assessment, though. But this is something that we're not going to really get an answer into until the actual next chapter. He actually mentions Gohan, and he said he's a little too used to in the moment right now, and he's not training. The enemy probably knows 17 and 18 exploits from Dr. Hedo's data. That's a very random thing to also include. I don't remember that being part of the movie. Piccolo has the idea of Dende can give him a hand. We don't see him go up to Dende's lookout, though. We don't see him go back down to Earth. We don't see anything after this point. So right now, this scene ends with Piccolo talking to Corrin about their strength. After which, it zooms into a literal random panel of Bulma finding the little orb communicator with Whis, and it cuts off to Whis watching Goku and Broly having a sparring match, which is a very good amount of nice panels, I will say. This is very detailed and gives me a real good sense of how fierce the fight can be, even though it's just sparring. It's very well put together. I actually enjoyed these couple pages right now that I'm looking at. The interesting thing, once we get to the last 2 pages, Broly seems to be very concentrated right now. Goku says, "Nice one, you're getting the hang of this fighting stuff." Yeah, but it's still tricky. So Broly is still very much inexperienced in terms of actually fighting. This time we're going to kick things up a notch. You'll get used to it bit by bit. Pretty soon you'll be fighting with a level head without snapping into a rage. And he says, I'm ready, Son Goku. So there's a couple interesting things on this last panel. One, they messed up Broly's face on the last panel, which I'm sure will be edited later on. But literally, it's the only panel where Broly doesn't have a scar on his left cheek. I don't know why they decided to do that. It was probably just a random, hey, this is the last literal panel, let's just get it moving. And they just completely forgot about it. I'm sure it'll be edited in the final actual volume when it comes out. But the interesting thing here is that Goku seems to be on pretty good parring point with Broly right now. I think what we're seeing is Broly's fighting instincts finally showing up a little, and he's starting to control his power. So he's starting to get to a minimum of their base. Broly is definitely stronger than Goku and Vegeta, but he can't control his power whatsoever. So just gotta keep that in mind about Broly. He's not nerfed, he's just a very inexperienced Saiyan. So, there's a lot of differences in this whole manga chapter. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed reading and going through all of it. I've been seeing a huge amount of negativity, and I do not understand why. It's one chapter. Y'all need to calm down. It's a recap chapter of the movie. It's pretty much par for par, other than a couple things back and forth. It is the manga. It's probably going to differ a little bit, and it might even change a couple things after this point going forward. There is a couple random key differences here and there with like Piccolo's arm, them cutting off to that point and not going to Dende or even bringing the dragon in. But yeah, I mean, just Broly being in this scene is also weird to me because I don't see Vegeta anywhere. They completely left Vegeta out of this entire first part of this chapter, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's very weird. I'm sure he'll show up at the beginning or some point in the next chapter that comes out next month, but just keep in mind, this is a chapter. It's not a volume. If we read the entire volume all in one go, this chapter would be fine. Nobody would even bat an eyelash. But for some odd reason, there's a lot of negativity coming from some Dokkan tubers, from some Dragon Ball tubers, from a lot of the community, and y'all just need to calm down. It's a chapter, and it's pretty much par for the course for recapping the events of Superhero. I have nothing wrong with this. All of the art looks great. All of the paneling is great. I like where they're possibly going with this, because Broly didn't even really fight in the movie. He just watched Goku and Vegeta fight, because he can't control his rage. But they gave us a whole lot of extra here at the end of this chapter, and I look forward to the next month when we actually get to see some more out of it. So, hopefully, Toei's not going to strike my account again, because if he does, I'm probably not going to be able to make any more chapter reviews or anything whatsoever on the manga. So I will be sticking with general gameplay from other Dragon Ball games just to be able to do these reviews. But let me know what you guys think of the chapter 92, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy it and have a good day and a good night.